Welcome in to New York. And the Lightning, after coming off a miraculous win in the divisional, to win the division, and they won their wild card game, and now they get Cincinnati, a team that they're very familiar with, prior league history. Good evening, everyone. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Colin Northrup, and joining me in the broadcast booth this evening is Ramos Lynn. Hola, Ramos.
Hola, Colin. Hey, we have a great one. It's a very interesting matchup, and you touched on it a little bit. They did face early on in the season, but I think this is going to be completely different, perhaps, because Cincinnati was running through a really bad streak of 6 losses in a row, and then they made some adjustments. They've been winning ever since, and they're just a couple of games away from potentially be crowned champions. For New York, they were down in their own division. They outlasted Rochester, and here they are, another championship contending season for the Lightning. I think this is going to be a good one.
Deal out of the end zone will start, and Mackenzie Gray, who has just been on fire lately for the Lightning, will start things off in the shotgun formation. Eye snap, gets it down, and out to Robert Henson Jr. He has all kinds of room. He's up over the 40, and that's when they'll mark him after a gain of 15 yards. Henson Jr., you'll see him all over the place. He's listed as a fullback, Ramos, but they use him in the tailback spot, as we've seen there.
Yeah, and then this offensive line of New York has played much better over the last few weeks. Right there, a huge opening for Henson to run through. And again, Cincinnati this season, I mean, they've looked either incredible, championship contender, or not. So it's interesting to see what kind of Cincinnati team we'll see tonight.
Gray operating out of the gun again, give off to Henson, why not? But it doesn't net nearly the yardage it did. It's back to the 42, and Ramos, the strength of this New York offense is really these wide receivers, in particular, Ellie Yama.
Yeah, for sure. They can be very explosive. They do still have the run, with Henson as, of that, support. But yeah, you're right. I mean, New York's a very explosive offense, and they can be very explosive.
Jupiter Jennings is the halfback as well with Robert Henson Jr. Ramos, the Cincinnati defense, they can be downright menacing, especially that linebacking core.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's where ultimately the game will be won or lost for either team, right? New York is trying to establish some of that run, but if Cincinnati can stop that run and make them one-dimensional, I think the Vultures have a good chance.
Ready. We'll be back for a first pass. The depth throw is tipped away. Eden Hart, the tight end, was the ended receiver, but it knocked away. It'll be 4th down and 5. That was 3rd and 5, Ramos, and Cincinnati with the early stop.
A good play right there by the defense, just playing zone. And they get the pass deflection, force a 4th down, and they'll get the ball. So a solid stop on the road, Colin. First drive of the game, making that stop is very impressive.
That was DeJuan Harris with the pass deflection. And this is a Cincinnati team, Ramos, that Mac Chima is really the engine that drives the thing, but don't forget about Al Ingram III.
Yeah, no, 100%. And there's going to be good field position here for Cincinnati.
Start off with a run up to the 39. That's going to be a 6-yard pickup for Ingram III at the tailback position. It'll be 2nd down and 4. And Chima, who threw 50 passes and completed 30 of them last week in the wild card win over St. Louis, will turn Givick and to Ingram III. Tried to make the juke move, Ramos Glenn, but nothing was ultimately doing on that play. And as we go over the lineups, Ramos, pay attention to this wide receiving core. I think it's underrated.
I think so too. I think Cincinnati as a whole, just because of that 6-game losing streak, which is crazy to have a 6-game losing streak and still make the playoffs, right? But that's how, good they looked at the start of the season. Oh, that looks like a false start.
Oh, that's not going to help things. And Number 77 up front will back up his team 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 9 from their 34-yard line now. A little more difficult. Chima back to pass for his first attempt. Down the middle. Got him in open. But ooh, Cain Vasquez. He brought every bit of lumber he had to bring to T-Roy Gaines to force the incompletion.
And he was wide open seemingly for a second and up that seam, and a great pass deflection and a hit by the defender, potentially saving at least 3 points on this drive. And both defenses making strong plays in the pass defense on 3rd down so far.
This punt will land in the end zone, so Mackenzie Gray and the offense will come back out. They were able to get the running game going with their fullback, Ramos Lynn, but we haven't heard yet from Jupiter Jennings yet either. Let's see what the Lightning elect to do here.
Yeah, still early. I mean, obviously, we've only had a few minutes here so far in this game, 0-0. Defense is looking pretty strong.
And Mackenzie Gray back to throw. Great protection as she's just waiting for somebody to open, and it is complete. A heart down the field into Cincinnati territory at 42. Pick up 38 yards on the play.
I mean, that's all on the offensive line of New York. I mean, they're just giving the quarterback all day to throw the ball, and on the scramble drill, one of the receivers is going to get completely wide open. I mean, that's not on the Vulture secondary. They did their job. I mean, you cannot just, pass defense for 8, 9, 10 seconds and, expect to have a good play defensively.
Ingram is the only notable player contracted or claimed back in that secondary as they tried to run a delay with Henson Jr. and nothing was doing on it. Then it'll be a loss of 4. And there's one of those linebackers we talked about. That time it was Robert Brady Jr., number 51.
It looked like a counter play, and again, the defensive line and linebackers not fooled on that one, and really good pursuit on the ball by the linebacker. And New York's going to be behind the sticks on 2nd and long.
They have the receiving core to do it, but you don't necessarily want to live in this kind of situation, I don't think. Portius Bacon is the team's 3rd wide receiver, number 86. Jazz Altmere. His team's 2nd wide receiver throw over the middle is complete. And that is Altmere, number 80. Will make it a 3rd and 5, so it's a manageable 3rd down despite the early loss of yardage. This will be a 3rd and 5 out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers. Gray back to throw. Gray. Plenty of time in the pocket. Down over the middle. Complete. Altmere again. The 2nd catch on the drive, and this time it's good enough for 1st.
Really good throw, and that's the 2nd time we've seen that kind of dig route, that dagger, about 15, 18 yards across the middle. And when you get the right defensive look offensively, that can be for huge gains.
The ball at the 22 to stack 2 receivers to the top of the screen. Gray back to throw. Great protection again, and the throw is complete toward the 15-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 6. That'll be 2nd and 4 as Dialmas on the reception, pickup of 6.
It's like man-to-man coverage here.
There's the get to Henson Jr. He tried to wiggle his way past, but he only got a yard or so down to the 14.
3rd down and 2. I mean, the run game has been okay, but I don't think enough to trust it. I will suggest Gray will throw the ball.
Pretty balanced so far. 5 runs, 5 passes. This is throw number 6. Oh, that could have been in the end zone, but alas, Bacon unable to come up with it. And New York will be forced to settle for potentially 3 points.
He just absolutely flat out missed it. I mean, wide open. You cannot get more open than that here in the lower red zone, Colin. And let's see if New York does not regret those 4 points that they just left on the table.
The goal is good. So we have 3-0 with 5:27 to go in the first quarter, and 3 is the first. One of the first numbers off the board. The field goal was up 31 yards. And New York has the early momentum, Ramos. Let's see what Cincinnati does in response.
They do, but Cincinnati has to feel pretty lucky right there on that last play. That wasn't a touchdown, and they are only down 3-0. Here I'm still in the first quarter. The Vultures, again, to your point, the receivers that they have can be very, very good, explosive, and all of them are pretty much deep threats. So, Cincinnati's a team that can score in a hurry.
Cincinnati defense hit 16 TFLs versus St. Louis. They're very stout against the run, but New York, as we've seen, can be lethal in the passing game as the Vultures will start on their own 26-yard line.
So, Cincinnati, though, I mean, as strong as their passing attack is, they have to also stay balanced, right? I mean, they also have to find the running game.
And Chima over the middle will throw underneath, and that's a good first completion. That'll be for 8 yards, setting up a 2nd and 2. Green on the reception.
Every time you can set yourself with 2nd and 2, 2nd and 1, 2nd and 3, you're set for success. I'll run it here. Just keep the New York defense honest.
And they do run it out of shotgun. Ingram, though, is brought down before he can achieve the first down line. And Ramos, this New York defense, they may not have a lot of known players, but Ron Cassidy, the defensive end, had 3 sacks in their wild card win over a week ago, and Kane Vasquez at strong safety there.
Yeah, Kane Vasquez, who already had a huge pass deflection up that seam route. 3rd down and 1, 6 players in the box. I will run it here. Just trust it.
And they will elect to throw, and that was a good decision on the RPO. Pass complete to Murray.
I like the RPO too, because you still have that thought of a run, but if it's not there, you can throw the bubble screen. And that was pretty obvious as the nickelback came with the blitz, so that left the slot wide open for an easy first down.
Move 2 on the defender to gain more yardage as St. Louis, the corner, came up to make the hit. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Gonna be the Ingram, but he's wrapped up by Cassidy. It'll be a loss of 3 yards.
And both teams have tried that counter play out of shotgun, and it has not worked. The defenses are coming with the pressure, and completely unblocked goes the defensive end for a tackle for a loss. And 2nd and 13, I mean, always, I don't know, I don't care how explosive your offense is. I mean, 2nd and 13 consistently is not going to bode well throughout the duration of the ballgame.
Going to be from their own 39-yard line. 2nd down. Chima is going to throw over the middle underneath, and they get the first down on 2nd and 13. Great execution by Cincinnati as Green hauls in his 2nd reception.
Great play. I mean, great recognition, great protection also given by the offensive line, and good scheming. Cincinnati, getting out of a jam right there.
Give to Ingram the 3rd. He explodes through the hole, and he got 10 yards and a first down. Now Cincinnati appears to be on a bit of a roll.
They do, and the offensive line is starting to put in some work over the last couple of plays. Now nearing scoring position.
Going to be at 37 as we approach under 2 minutes and counting to go here in the opening stanza. Cincinnati down by 3. They're going to run the screen to the other tailback, and that'll let up first down and more as Vasquez body slams them out of bounds.
And I'm liking now the balance and kind of like the different, plays that they're calling. Some runs, some intermediate passes, now a screen.
And Chima goes to the flat to gains, but that's, not going to gain much yardage, only a yard to the 21.
Yeah, I mean, still, keeping you ahead of the sticks a little bit. And, New York is being forced right now to cover every blade of grass on the football field. They're going everywhere.
Jima again to the flat. We got a flag down, so hold everything. Oh, and it's going to be a hold. It's going to be a hold on the left guard. Brendan Lee back him up 10 yards. So it's a double whammy.
2nd and 19 is very tough.
And they're going to go underneath, but it's picked off. They went to green and the flat, and Thompson's like, give me that ball.
Wow. You know, and for Cincinnati, you think that's kind of like a safe play, right? Just throw the ball to the sideline, maybe about get 4 or 5 yards, make it a little bit of a short 3rd down, get in field goal range. And I mean, aggressive defensive play right there by New York, heavy on the flats, and getting the interception pays off for them. And the Lightning get another massive stop on defense.
Mackenzie Gray in the offense already up 3-0, with the opportunity to perhaps tack on more. Gray back to throw. Underneath, complete. That is to Jupiter Jennings out to the 34. That's going to be a pickup of 4 yards for the veteran tailback from Clemson.
And you take 4 yards, man. 2nd and 6. Get your head of the sticks every down.
Here's to get to Henson Jr. Spinning ahead. And he gets the first down, they say, at the 40.
Really good quarter here by New York. I mean, only up 3-0, but really, really good quarter.
Well, New York, they started fast in a wild card win over Tennessee. They were up 17-0, and here after one against the Vultures, they're up 3-0. Colin Northrup, Ramos Lynn here in the broadcast booth with you. Mackenzie Gray will dump this off the hard off a 3-step drop. She's tackled near the midfield stripe, but it'll be a pickup of 9.
Really good play again, and New York has been able to get those positive plays. Now heavy set, maybe another run.
Get to Henson, and he didn't get the first down. He stopped for no gain. Ford on the tackle.
Definitely look closer than that, but they're gonna rule him about 3/4 of a yard short.
And they give it to the big burly fullback again, and this time he picks it up with ease. 29 yards on already 8 carries, Ramos. They definitely put an emphasis on giving the ball to Henson Jr.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's tough to stop it 2 times in a row, right? I mean, you can stop it once. It's like, it's kind of like the tush push, for the Eagles. Maybe you're kind of like limited once, but then you get it again, and it's just super hard to stop. So, good, pressure there by New York to run it again.
I agree. Here's the handoff to the tailback, Jennings. His first carry, and he lost 2 yards on the play.
And I have to give kudos right now to these linebackers. I mean, for both teams, really. I mean, they played really, really well. Another solid blitz call right there, just at the late blitz, just hitting that gap, and Brady Jr. gets the tackle for a loss. He's had a really good first half.
The loss of 2, and that'll be 2nd and 12. They'll mark the ball at the 47. They'll get to Jennings again. This time he finds more room. He's up over the 40 to the 38, they'll call it. They set up another 3rd and short situation. This time they only need 3 yards.
I would not be surprised if they go back to the play action, Colin, here on 3rd down and 3. It didn't work last time. He overthrew it in the end zone.
They go bunch to the bottom. Gray on a straight drop back, has men open underneath, but goes a little bit deeper, and it's good for the first down, and Gray has hit 7 of her first 9. As the Lightning are over 100 yards passing. It's worth noting, Ramos, that Robert Brady Jr. tied the single game record this season with 5 tackles for loss.
Yeah, he's been a menace, and speaking about being a menace, this passing attack really working well here for New York. Another dig route. It's another 18, 20-yard dig route, and the Lightning again in scoring position in the red zone.
Ball marked at the 18. They line up a 3 tight ends. Here's to get to Henson Jr. up the middle. And he plows ahead to the 14-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of 4.
Brady Jr. already up to 6 tackles, but he's going to have about 12 by the end of the first half alone at this pace.
Our formation again, get to Jennings, trying to spin through a hole, and he got down to the 9, but he's about a sneeze away from picking up the first down marker as it's 3rd and less than 1.
With the big boys again, I will run it to the left. Run it behind your left guard.
And they give it to the man who's the backup fullback, and it doesn't work. Maxwell lost 2. Cameron Bumpers blew that play up from the word go.
I mean, kudos to the defensive tackle, but, if I'm New York, that's kind of like a surprising call a little bit, Colin. You give it to Maxwell, who's, a fullback, technically, but really is like a backup tight end. Instead of giving it to Henson, that's kind of, head scratching. But kudos to Cincinnati, and they're going to keep it a 1-possession game.
Field goal by White is good. 7:05 to go in the first half. New York is up 6-0. Couple more numbers off the board now, 28-6. Well, Ramos, it's always good to score points in the red zone. That sequence had to be a little frustrating for the Lightning because for the second drive in a row, they could have had a touchdown, but instead they settled for 3.
Yeah, and, it's still points, and you will take them every time you can get them, Colin, but, it's hard to win games, especially in the playoffs when you only put 3 on the board and 3 on the board. So, eventually they have to break through and put 7. So if you're Cincinnati, you're still feeling okay, with the fact that a touchdown and you'll take the lead.
Going to be knelt in the end zone. Ball comes out to the 25. New York has now not given up a first half point in 5+ quarters of football. They led Tennessee 17-0 at the break last week, so it's an impressive streak, especially considering how explosive the Cincinnati offense can be. We'll start off with a throw. Mac Chima standing in the pocket. We'll let this go down the sideline. Oh, beautiful full shot in the zone coverage, and that'll be a first down as that was a 22-yard catch and run by Al Ingram III.
I think they got him on the wheel route. That's King Vasquez man-to-man coverage. Really good throw. Best throw of the night, probably by either quarterback tonight. And that's a huge gain for the Vultures.
Be a 22-yard gain. Perhaps this will shake off the doldrums that they've been in as they line up with 2 people on either side of Chima in the shotgun. He's back to throw down the middle, complete to Green, and Green has been the favorite target of Chima here early as he hauls in another catch.
That middle of the field, that deep middle, like intermediate and deep middle of the field for both teams has worked pretty well. Good protection given, running that dig right in behind the linebacker, in between the linebacker and the safety. Actually looking more like a post route, but regardless, a really good play here for Cincinnati, and they're very close again from being in scoring position. They have to pull through on this one.
Vultures, 1st and 10 from the 32. Give to Ingram the 3rd, wrapping both hands around the ball as he's brought down by 2 Lightning defenders, but that'll be a 4-yard pickup. Polk on the tackle. He's been busy these last couple plays.
Yeah, that time, solid blocking. You almost have to lay handoff, solid blocking by the offensive line.
2nd and 6 from the 28. Play action this time. And they'll go up top, but oh! The tight end almost had it, Ramos, but he was unable to hang on thanks to the in front of the defender.
That's really unfortunate here for Cincinnati because actually on the run, it looked like the running back would, probably would have had really good space to get a first down.
3rd and 6. Chima throws, got a man wide open, it's Gaines. His 2nd catch, and it came in a clutch moment as he's now down to the 8. It'll be 1st and goal.
Again, the protection given to Chima just all day to find Gaines wide open left. I mean, he's just standing there, just looking for the ball. Cincinnati will have a 1st and goal.
He's playing in his hometown, stayed local, went to the University of Cincinnati, and now he's playing in the pros with the Vultures. As Chima looks end zone, drop! Oh! It could have been a touchdown, but alas, it'll be 2nd and goal.
Now each team has a big blunder throw into the end zone, right? I mean, they could the New York pass that should have been a touchdown, and now this one for Cincinnati.
Gonna be motion on 2nd and goal. Chima throw to the flat. This time the second tight end holds on to the ball, but he doesn't get very far, only to the 6th. It'll be 3rd and goal as McCabe on the reception.
Yeah, and the field condenses on you, so you're trying to find the open spaces. There's not gonna be a whole lot. I mean, it's about 5, let's say 5 receivers and 11 defenders, so about 16 players trying to fight for grass in a span like a difference of 10-15 yards. I mean, that's just not gonna happen. So that's why it gets really hard to score when you get inside the 10-yard line.
It'll be 3rd and goal from the 6th. They have 4 wide receivers, a bunch to the bottom. They'll sprint toward the bunt side. The Chima, but he goes. It's sack time. Lipsky on the sack as he came flying in, unblocked Ramos, and Cincinnati will be forced to settle for 3.
Really good stop here by the New York defense. And again, it did cost, that Cincinnati, that drop, that did cost the Vultures, a potential touchdown, and 4 points on the board left on the table for Cincinnati. We'll have to settle for 3 and try to make it a 3-point game.
Gonna be spotted at about the 20. Snap, spot, kick is good. So it's 6-3 is the score now. That's going to be a 30-yard field goal. So another number off the board, Ramos, but still very low scoring affair.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, by this time, Colin, we already have like 10 bingo numbers, called, and, this time we only have 5. So it's been a defensive slugfest. Both offenses have been able to move the ball, okay, but when it gets to inside the 25s, the defenses are, standing strong.
New York forces Cincinnati to settle for 3, but let's see if the Lightning can solve the riddle that has been the red zone for them as well. They've had to settle for 2 field goals on their 2 scoring opportunities in which they've gotten deep into the red zone.
Come on, set 70, Indy.
Going to be a run up the middle. Going to be only a pickup of 1.
And for New York, I mean, you want to score, obviously, but you want to be the last team to possess the ball here in the first half. So keep the clock running a little bit.
And Gray down the middle. Oh, it's dropped. A beautiful pass that was dropped. Altmere had it, and just like that, in a blink of an eye, it's 3rd and 9.
Man, that was a great throw. I mean, you said it, a beautiful throw, and just flat out dropped.
And Gray, 3rd and 9. Oh, nice catch on the sideline, and it'll be a 1st down. And that will excite the fans as Diamos with a nice footwork along the sideline.
And just great, straight up dealing, dude. I mean, outside of that pass that he missed in the end zone, he's been so good. And, Cincinnati has struggled with that. They give up 9 yards per pass defensively, which is worst in the UFL. And it's kind of hard to believe, that a team that is so close to potentially reaching a championship has that those struggles on pass defense.
He throws and Hart unable to hang on despite the hit. And look who was in the neighborhood. That was Robert Brady Jr.
Yeah, he's been everywhere. If there's, that's not been a struggle for Cincinnati. He's been absolutely everywhere and has had a tremendous season.
Play action. We'll go to the flat. Ooh, that could have been real dangerous. Looking for Jupiter Jennings, but instead Robert Brady Jr. is there again.
Another great play. I mean, again, he's doing everything. Stopping the run, stopping the pass. Just a baller.
Gray back to throw. There's going to be a flag down as it complete. That is Bacon, number 86 on the reception, but hold everything. Ooh, that's going to be a real killer as the center is called for a hold. We reached the 2-minute warning, 6-3 our score. Colin Nordrum, Ramos Lynn here in the broadcast booth with you, and Ramos, this is a critical 3rd and 20.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is like the chance for Cincinnati. If they can get a stop here, they can call a timeout potentially and have a lot of time. Yeah, they're just going to run it. And you have to call a timeout really good by Cincinnati.
So New York, they waved the white flag on that drive. You know what? And I don't really blame them. I mean, your defense is playing really well. You've only given up the 3 points. And this is a New York Lightning team that is 10th in yards per run allowed. So Cincinnati has had to work it out for them. As this punt will down inside the 10, down to the 7.
I mean, you probably thought maybe Cincinnati will have some decent field position, try to get some points before the end of the half. And listen, they might still do it, but now instead of having to move the ball probably only about 40 yards, you have to move the ball about 60, if not more, just about 70 yards, just to have a glimpse.
And then Ron Haynes. Oh, it's a fumble! Cincinnati picks it up, but they're going to be pushed all the way back to the 1 as it's going to be a loss of 6 yards. Chima lost the ball, and he almost gift wrapped the Lightning a golden opportunity if not for his lineman falling on it.
But this is dangerous territory here for Cincinnati. I mean, that was dangerous enough, but now they are really in trouble of potentially getting a safety against.
It was an incredible play by Jenkins. He didn't tackle Chima, but he pushed his blockers right into Chima, causing the fumble. Ingram gets him out of the immediate danger as they go back to the 7.
Yeah, now New York is calling timeouts because now they're like, okay, now we can get the ball back and get some points before the end of the half.
Going to be a 3rd and 10 from the 7. So they're right back to where they started from. And they're just going to run it with Ingram, wrapping both hands around the ball. He gets up to about the 15. New York uses their 2nd timeout. So that sequence for the Lightning goes swimmingly. They should get really good field position.
Yeah, and for, on the flip side for Cincinnati, just very disappointing. I mean, now New York really has a realistic chance of getting some points before the end of the half.
The opportunity was there, but it was not taken by the Vultures as his return only goes up to the 34. 68 seconds left to go in the first half. Ramos, we saw some crazy games in the wild card round, but I'm looking forward to that Los Angeles Salt Lake match.
Absolutely. Salt Lake has been the best team in the UFL, this season, but you look at Los Angeles and at points you feel that's the most dangerous team in the UFL, so it's going to be a hell of a matchup.
It is indeed. Outstanding graphical work again as the throw goes underneath. That is to Hart in the flat, and it's 3rd and 7, but New York doesn't appear to be in a hurry.
They don't. I mean, 3rd and 7, that's, still a tricky situation. The percentage of converting is about, 30-35%.
Gray down the middle. Oh, there was hung on to Mackenzie Gray to Bacon on the 31-yard reception, and Gray showing off her tremendous arm strength to get the first down.
Wow, what a catch. What a throw, but especially what a catch. There's no way, if you're a defensive coordinator, there's no way that ball, one-handed catch, there's no way that ball is caught.
That might be the catch of the game right there. New York forced to call their final timeout. Remember, the UFL rules don't allow for spikes, so it's a 10-second runoff regardless if the ball ends up in the field of play. And with 4 seconds left, the Lightning could possibly be in field goal range. They're going to try it with what?
50
That
yards?
spot kick is good. White gets it, and just like that, it's a 9-3 game.
Wow. Those are huge points before the end of the half, Colin. I mean, in this game, gaining points is like pulling teeth, so getting 3 before the end of the half could be huge here for the Lightning.
And if you see the highlights scroll around Ramos Lynn, it's a low-scoring game. And I tell you what, I think the first team that really sort of puts it in the painted area will have a tremendous advantage. It's Mackenzie Gray. She's just been on fire all of that first half.
Yeah, I mean, and we've seen really good performances by, different offensive players, but you wouldn't think of it when you see the scoreboard, 9-3.
And we're just about ready to get underway in this second half. Lightning trying to advance. Cincinnati also trying to advance. Depending on the winner of the game between Milwaukee and Dallas, either one of these teams could be traveling to Dallas or hosting Milwaukee. For UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine. Kick is away, fielded at about the 2-yard line up the middle, across the 20, and it'll be marked down at the 24-yard line. That's where Cincinnati will begin. What do you expect to see from Cincinnati, Ramos?
I mean, I think some passing, like just put him a little bit of a rhythm, like short passes.
Well, they start off with a dump off, and Ingram gets it up to the 32. I want to bring in UFL co-founder and AI expert Cameron Irvine. Cam, what do you got for us?
Hey, fellas, yeah. So Cincinnati, or New York rather, ends up getting 3 points at the end of that first half because of the way they used their timeouts. When Cincinnati was backed up, they called 2 of them. That allowed them to get the football back and get down the field and kick a field goal. So while things are not exactly perfect with our situational AI, we don't want to make any tweaks at this point in the season. There's a few things that we want to tweak that we've seen throughout the season, but with the games being this impactful, we don't want to do anything crazy right now, but in the offseason, we're going to be looking at a few of those things. But how New York handled that situation at the end of the first half is exactly what we're looking for.
Going to set up a 3rd and 7 as Chimo was brought down by Polk on the previous play. Thank you, Cam. As the throw of the gains, he's going to be short on the first down. He needed 7 and he got 6.
Yep, clearly pushed backwards, Colin, and there's no option but to punt it away if you're Cincinnati, I don't think. I don't think you go for it here on that, possession on the field, even though it's 4th and 1. What a
update there on the Hugo numbers.
Yep.
And I also think a little bit of that is on Gaines as well. It appeared to me that he didn't run the route deep enough to ensure that he was past the sticks, and Cincinnati will be forced to punt as a result. And this punt will land in the end zone. Ball comes out to the 20. So the New York Lightning come back out on offense, up by 6. We're still looking for the game's first touchdown, but plenty of numbers have been rattled up.
18 Gator.
It's going to be 3 tight ends, including extra offensive lineman Mackenzie Gray over the middle. Hart underneath, and she's on the lane, spinning out of bounds at the 44-yard line. What a beautiful first down call, Ramos Lynn.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What a great route. Just scheming people open, then breaking a tackle, getting an extra 5 on the play. And, New York, the more they can, get those stops, 3 and outs, obviously the more the offense is going to be on the field. And that means the defense of Cincinnati stays on the field. And, they're good. But if you're going to be on the field for 40 minutes or like 60% of the time, you're not going to win many ball games.
Put it a flat, Hart caught it, but only for a gain of 2 up to the 45. That's her 6 grabs. She's up to 76 yards.
Second and
It'll be
8.
2nd and 8. First time out of pistol look. Here's the give to Jupiter Jennings. Jennings had room, but it closed as quickly as it presented itself, and just like that, it's 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5. It was still a manageable situation here for New York. What to do?
From the shotgun, Gray back to pass, and down the middle she goes. And you're going to say that's a catch. She almost hauled it in despite the wicked contact from Robert Brady Jr.
Again, another dig route, and again, solid throw by the quarterback. A huge hit by Brady Jr., who's just put a stamp on everybody on offense for New York, it looks like. But a great throw nonetheless, a first down, and New York again into Cincinnati territory.
7th tackle for Brady Jr. And it was a crunching one, that's for sure, Ron Haynes. Nice to see you, sir, as Jupiter Jennings will pick up a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 out to the 38.
Here we go. 70 Indy.
To get to Jennings again. He squirts through. Oh, gets the first down out to the 29-yard line. 7 carries for 22 yards. Ramos Lynn. He may not be the feature back this evening, but that was a big-time run there.
Yeah, and in these kinds of games, man, you have to get contributions from everybody. Even if it's just the first down or just things like that, just go a long way.
Here's the throw. Out to the flat to Hart again. Only nets a yard out to the 28. Only 54 rushing yards for the Lightning. They had 116 last time these teams met. Play clock at 3. Gray gets it away. It's to Ensign Jr., the fullback, and he's stuffed at the 25. He's now up to 37 yards and just 11 totes of the ball.
On 3rd and 6, Cincinnati has to be wary about that dig route. They need to cover the middle of the field.
New York, the third in terms of third down percentage, but the screen didn't work that time. It was read too well by guess who? Robert Brady Jr. and Ensign lost 4 yards back to the 29.
Great tackle, man, in the open field by Brady Jr., who's been the player of the game, in my opinion, Colin. I mean, as good as some other players have played, for New York especially. I mean, I have to right now, even though Cincinnati's losing, he will be my player of the game. He has just been insane.
Definitely holding his own out there. And that's the third TFL for Brady Jr., 2 off tying his own record. And the field goal is good. So 12-3 is the score now. As White boots it through.
And it's a big field goal, Colin. That makes it a 2-possession game. So 12 to 3, that's 9 points. Cincinnati will have to score twice, and the defense has to make some stops. That's a big field goal for New York.
It is definitely huge in a lot of ways. Check out Green Gridiron Social to see the unboxing of full-size replica UFL helmets. They make it real, and so do all of you. For more info on all the amazing products Green Gridiron has to offer, visit greengridiron.com. Return only goes up to the 27 for Cincinnati and Mac Chima in the Cincinnati offense. Ramos, they only got the 3 points on the drive, but other than that, they have been stymied throughout the large portion of this football game.
Yeah, they really have, and they have been unable to just really get any explosive plays down the field. It's been a problem.
And Chima goes to the flat underneath, caught by Green, who will only pick up 2. So the yardage differential 242 to 144. Just 29 rushing yards. For Cincinnati, they had 119 in their work meeting. As the throw complete to Ingram, the third is brought down at the 33 to set up a 3rd and short.
In short, New York has been excellent on 3rd downs defensively. Empty set.
Chima flies this one deep. Oh, an attempted one-handed catch by Warren Murray, but alas, the ball hits the turf. It'll be another 3 and out for the Vultures. Gotta be frustrating.
It has to be. I mean, he's trying to catch it with one hand, Murray, trying to shield the defender, and that just means he only can use one hand. I mean, if he just plays the ball, maybe he can put both hands on it and make the catch, but Cincinnati, again, missing on a 3rd down, and the Lightning defense is just balling out of control right now.
You get a Hugo Skippy on just 7 confirmed numbers. So despite the lack of numbers off the board, we have our first Hugo of the evening.
Nice. Congrats to Skippy.
You see the numbers for Hanson Jr., 37 yards on 11 totes. He leads his team in both categories. But it's been the Mackenzie Gray show for the most part. She has been on fire lately. Takes the snap, fires underneath to meet the Hart. Hart has also been busy. She's up over the 35. The marker down at the 37-yard line. It'll be 1st down New York.
Wide open. We're just running some zone defense. Cincinnati unable to cover the lanes, and huge gain after the catch for Hart.
She has been putting in the work, and Gray has thrown 46 pass attempts so far in the playoffs, has completed 39 of them. So she's just been on an eater. Even dating back to a wild card round as Jennings lost a yard.
Good stop by McDade right now, and we've seen mostly passing for both teams here as of late, Colin. You know, I think, you know, New York was trying to, you know, have a little change of pace, but Cincinnati was ready for it.
Indeed they were. This is a Vulture defense that gives up just 3.8 yards a carry. 3rd best run defense in the league during the regular season, as that pass was incomplete, just a bit in front of the receiver there. It'll be 3rd and 11.
And I like the idea. They were coming with the blitz. So do the play action throw to the place where the blitz is coming from. Just a bad throw. One of the very few bad throws we've seen.
Diamond, the intended receiver. And Gray
Oh,
finds Diamond that time. And the 8th-year player from Boston College picks up 26 on that throw.
yeah, it's just a laser throw. And, the secondary just got lost on that one. I don't know where the defensive back is going. I think it's Spencer, number 23. I don't know where he's going.
Yeah, 28 there for Cincinnati. Had to clean up the mess. And luckily he was there. Otherwise, Diamond may still be running. And the throw underneath the Henson Jr. only gets up to the 35. That's going to be 3 yards, though.
Yeah, but again, get you ahead of the sticks. It's always good. And this is where you have to do balance. Put some balance on your offense, Colin. I will run it here. Maybe a run to the outside. Try to stretch the defense to the outside.
It'll be a 2nd and 7. Gray gives off to Jennings. Jennings trying to juke, but once again, a defender is there to meet him in the hole. Limits the gain to only a few yards as Wilson on the stop to set up a 3rd down and 4.
Fringes of field goal range. It will be about a 50-yarder from here.
Gray. Underneath, it'll be good enough for the 1st down. And Mackenzie Gray is now 20-26.
Yeah, and he really had options. I mean, there was a whip route on the top of the screen that was wide open. Probably an even better choice, but regardless, it's a 1st down. Spencer on the tackle, and I mean, she's been great. I mean, she's been great, and I mean, as I'm speaking of Gray, right? She's been incredible. Choosing the right player, even though she's missed a couple of throws. I mean, just the way she's been decisive with the throws and choosing the right person to throw it to. It's just been incredible.
He said no INTs, hasn't put the ball in harm's way in this ball game so far. Give off to Jennings, 2nd and through the hole, and he gets down to the 17-yard line. And New York is up to 305 in terms of total yards.
Maybe the last play of the 3rd quarter, a 3rd quarter that was all New York, Colin. I mean, over the last 2 quarters, it's been all Lightning. This defense is playing out of control, and they're controlling the football. I mean, maybe they're not putting a lot of touchdowns or any touchdowns on the board, but they're controlling the ball.
At the end of the 3rd quarter, put the numbers up in chat. It's 12-3. We're still searching for our 1st touchdown of the ball game, but the Lightning in firm control. Colin Northrop, Ramos Lynn here in the broadcast booth with you. This is the Great East Conference semifinal game as Jupiter Jennings will get slung down at the 15-yard line after a 2-yard gain.
Gonna be 2nd down and 8. Maybe a screen pass to the receiver, to the wide receiver here, Colin. See if you can get a little bit of blocking.
They got the stack to the top. And Gray will stick underneath the Henson Jr., who was sitting there wide open as the check down. That sets up a 3rd and 3 to 9. New York must have a sense of deja vu here.
And here's what I may like. They're going to go shotgun, but here's what I like a play-action bootleg and kind of give the quarterback options to either run or throw.
And Gray's going to throw to the end zone.
Got it.
Eden Hart kept both feet in bounds. And the Lightning breaks the plane for the 1st time here in this prime-time matchup.
Both feet in bounds, I think, pretty clearly. Not a great look from that camera angle, but I think Hart has 2 feet in bounds with no problems. And now it's going to be a 16-point game with this extra point. Booth review just like any touchdown, Colin.
The previous play is under review.
Yeah, they are going to review it. Just to make sure. Ooh.
Oh, from that one, I don't know.
I was pretty sure on the first look, but on that second look, I'm not so sure.
I think he has possession of the ball. I think that's a touchdown.
Official says,
Yep, it stands.
and New York will go for 2.
This is interesting. That will make it 17 points, Colin. 3-possession game.
And Gray, under pressure, goes to the flat. Oh, it's incomplete. Maxwell, the intended receiver, but the ball hits the turf. And guess who was out there? That was Robert Brady Jr. once again.
Great play. But, interesting call, Colin. You go for 2. If you convert, you make it a 17-point game, which is 3 possessions. And now you kind of truly put it out of reach, with, up by 3 scores. So good play by Cincinnati, forcing the incompletion, and they're still just down 2 touchdowns.
The analytics and the math said, if there's an opportunity to go for 2, you might take it, but that time it backfires. And you see people in the chat questioning what they were doing, and J.W. Harshorn was very blunt. He said it was dumb.
Also, this is brutal if you had 20 on your bingo card.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Although, Cameron Irvine reminding us it's not dumb if it works,
That's true.
which I do agree with.
I actually like the call, Colin, because if you kick the extra point, okay, you're up 16, and it's hard to score 2 touchdowns with 2 2-point conversions. But if you can get the 2-point try, then you make it 3 possessions, and you really put Cincinnati out of reach, I believe.
And Cincinnati will start with a pass underneath. And Chima, that's just his 19th pass attempt. He's completed 14 of them for almost 140 yards. He does have an interception. Going to be from the 35, Chima. Goes to the flat, and that doesn't work.
Nope.
Only net a loss of 1 as Vasquez came flying in and body slammed Ingram the third to the ground.
Great play by Vasquez. And, people in the chat saying it was brutal if you had 19. That's also brutal. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's also crazy if you had 19 on your bingo card. But, at least it's like, okay, they're going for 2. Because, if you have 20 and you see them go for 2, it's like you have that expectation of, oh, maybe. And then it just didn't happen.
Going to be 2nd and 11. Chima going underneath. Murray hauls it in this time, and it is good for a first down as they approach the midfield stripe. Haven't heard a lot from Murray today, only his 2nd reception. Nice throw underneath.
Yeah, this secondary of New York has played well all game long. I mean, and you look at the numbers from Chima, and they don't look bad, or they don't look that bad, but all of those yards have been pretty quiet. It hasn't really meant a whole lot in the great scheme of the game.
And Chima back to throw underneath. Pass complete to T-Roy Gaines. It'll be first down to the 39. And JW admitting in the chat that, he had a root canal today, so that sequence there with the 2-pointer might have hit him a little extra funny. Chima over the middle. Murray again, his 2nd catch on the drive. He had 1 catch prior to this drive, and now he has 3 on the game.
Well, I don't know if it's a little bit, a little too late, but, there's still 8 minutes. I mean, there's still some time left in this game.
It's going to be a throw. Oh, it's almost picked up.
Wow.
I think that was Carlson out there that almost had the interception.
Yeah, and if that's a pick 6, Colin. I mean, there's nobody in between the defender and the end zone.
Here's the throw. Gaines out to the 20. It'll be 3rd and 5.
And this is where Cincinnati, Colin, this is where Cincinnati's offense has hit like a force field. I mean, they cannot get to the end zone. They've been here before.
They'll run a play action against the blitz
there we
man,
go.
wide open underneath, touchdown. Vultures, Lewis on the reception, and he's excited because in one foul swoop, Cincinnati starts on the comeback trail.
And we've seen Cincinnati have crazy comebacks before, Colin. Early in the season, they were down by 3 touchdowns, and they were able to come back all the way back. Cincinnati has been in this situation before. Now, not in the playoffs, but they've been in the situation before. And, you know, New York led Tennessee 24-3 with under 5 minutes left. And they, you know, kind of like, you know, held on to win 24-17, you know, with a fumble. But, I mean, it's been an issue a little bit for New York, and it's been a strength of Cincinnati to come back.
Indeed. And just like that, a Flurry number off. Flurry numbers off the board.
And I was actually calling that game. It was against it was Cincinnati against Los Angeles. I was on the call for that game, and Cincinnati looked awful in the first half. They were trailing 19-0, and then in the second half, the roles just inverted, and Cincinnati scored 22 in a row to win 22-19.
That game, that was particularly crazy to see, and we got some mutterings from the New York players under their breath my direction. As Mackenzie Gray, she's been really efficient, Ramos, and they'll probably need her again.
Yeah, not before they run the ball, at least here on first down, Colin. You have to keep the clock running.
And they will do just that up the middle. Henson Jr. scratches out another 3 yards.
I mean, New York outgaining Cincinnati by 100 yards. And this is a game that the Lightning have looked better for like 90% of it, but Cincinnati's still in it.
Cincinnati, they hung around. And, ooh, this is a nice throw, a nice catch, but an even better tackle made on Jazz Altmere to set up a 3rd and medium-ish.
Huge play for Cincinnati defensively, Colin.
Critical pivot point here as we approach under 6 minutes to go. Mackenzie Gray back to throw. Gray down the field. Got him wide open. Bacon fumble. No, it's a fumble, and Dolmere had it stripped out of her hands, and Cincinnati recovers it.
Oh my
God! Robert Brady Jr. got on it.
Dude, how did he find how is he there? Like, that's crazy. Why and how is he 25 yards downfield recovering a fumble? I mean, the hustle. And speaking about the hustle, the corner not giving up on the play, stripping the ball out, and here come the Cincinnati Vultures again. Naisha Ingraham forcing the fumble. Oh my goodness.
Brady Jr., he's been everywhere, so add another accolade to his stat sheet, as this is going to be Al Ingram III spinning ahead to the 41. So the most unusual turnover that we've seen.
Still a good gain of 6.
Cincinnati operating out of the no huddle. Throw to the sideline. Nice catch by Green, who steps out of bounds at the 30.
Great timing. I mean, perfect throw, perfect timing on that one. Cincinnati really now, you know, all of a sudden moving the ball at will.
And Cincinnati back to pass again. Chima now over 200 yards. He adds to that total as falling out of bounds to the 24 as the clock keeps moving. Thomas on the grab, his 2nd of the ball game.
You know, and I was just, you know, a drive ago, I was just saying the yards that Chima has gotten have been quiet. Nothing quiet about this.
Throw underneath. Nice catch made.
Oh.
That's Blythe on the reception, number 81. And Cincinnati's up to 257 total yards.
I will run it here if I'm Cincinnati, actually. I'm going to keep passing. Oh, fumbles.
Oh, lineman picks it up, and thank goodness the lineman was there, as number 94 was there to bring it down for New York. That's a loss of 15 on the play all the way back to the 31-yard line. Mac Chima back to throw. You can't even see the first down marker as the throw is at the feet of the receiver. And just like that, it's third and a country mile.
Yeah, he rushed that one. He felt the pressure on that one. 3rd and 25. At this point, Colin, I think you have to just get closer to a field goal. I mean, still a lot of time left.
You need 2 scores, and they somehow get the first down on 3rd and forever. The second tight end got all the way through, down to the 2. It'll be 1st and goal. How do you let that defensive bust happen, Ramos?
I have no idea. It's 3rd and 25. That's inexcusable.
And Chima is just going to throw this away. Stops the clock with 3:52 to go in the ball game. Cincinnati down by 8. They'll go 4 wide, 2 by 2 stacked on top of each other. They'll go out the screen, but it's not well executed, and in fact, it throws them back to the 5.
And this has been a struggle. For both teams, really, Colin. This has been a struggle when they get inside the 10-yard line.
Be interesting to see what Cincinnati does here. Throw to the end zone. Touchdown. How did he hang on to the ball? Oh my goodness. We're a 2-point conversion away from a tie.
How did he catch that ball? First of all, that's a really good throw by Chima to put it up top. And then he just
How's the
knocked
man
the
who just
defender.
caught the ball for -3 yards earlier? And Cincinnati's going to try it up with a 2.
Unbelievable.
Trips to the volley. Chima back to throw. Chima. He has all day. Now he's still going to run it down. He goes. Cassidy on the sack. Rowan Cassidy, who had that forced fumble to set up that 3rd and forever early in the drive, prevents Cincinnati from tying this game.
Wow. I mean, if you're Chima, this has been a great drive. You have to throw the ball somewhere. Even if it's intercepted, who cares? You just throw it somewhere. Give your receivers a chance. You cannot take a sack. But at the same time, you still have, well over 2 minutes. You have 3.5 minutes, Colin. You have to kick it deep here. You still have 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning.
Yeah, you have to kick it deep here. So after we had kind of a sleepy start with the numbers have been flying out the board.
Sleepy start is kind of like an understatement, Colin. I like defense, right? But, the offense just really couldn't get going, especially inside the 20-yard line. It was a lot of sloppy offense in the red zone. And all of a sudden, Cincinnati has come alive.
All right, let's throw it down to Cameron Irvine, who has another AI commentary for us. We saw no huddle with 6 minutes to go, down just 1 score. Cam, why was that?
Yeah, some people might question, why are we going to the no huddle so early? It's to maximize opportunities for possessions, because Cincinnati didn't get that too. They need the ball back again. If they wouldn't have gone no huddle as early as they did, as that pass is going to sail out of bounds, they might not have another opportunity at the football, would have had to onside kick. So that's why you see the sense of urgency early, trying to maximize as many opportunities as Cincinnati could muster, and now they need to stop here to give themselves the ultimate chance.
Oh, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Mackenzie Gray back to throw down the middle of the field. It's almost called with the catch. She had the fumble on the last drive. That's her 6th drive. She's up to 97 yards.
That's been the throw, Colin. Like in between the numbers, kind of like up that seam. That's been the throw. Brady Jr. makes the tackle, but that's a hell of a throw and catch here by the New York Lightning, who just need just a few first downs. They don't even have to score necessarily. They just need about 2 or 3 first downs to put the game out of reach.
With 2:43 left and counting from their own 42, they will give up. The Edson Jr. tried to break through, and now the timeouts are going to start to be used. We got a 199 super chat from Skippy. She says, "Nice shirt, Cameron."
On the ready.
2:38 on the clock. Cincinnati still has 2 timeouts in their back pocket. Jennings on the carry, and Cincinnati calls timeout number 2.
And it's interesting to see if New York dares to throw the football here, or if they want it again to force Cincinnati to call their 3rd and last timeout. I mean, 3rd down and 8. Would not be shocked if they just run it here, Colin, but Gray has been so good tonight. I would like for New York to throw it here.
They are going to throw it. Ray. There's down. Brady Jr. spins out of that sack, but not the second attempt. And Cincinnati will get the ball back, but they will have no timeouts at their disposal.
And that's a huge loss. I mean, the only silver lining for New York is that, they keep the ball. It stays in bounds, and Cincinnati has to call their last timeout. But that's a loss of 13 yards on the play, Colin, and Cincinnati presumably may have some decent field position, maybe at about their own 30-yard line, and a field goal will win the game for the Vultures.
Interesting as the return up to the 15. That's where it started, and Thomas will get shoved out of bounds at the 26 with 2:17 left. So they'll probably get 1 playoff or so before the 2-minute warning. Seen the numbers for Chima, they've been good. The 2 touchdowns and the 1 interception. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 26. Mac Chima down the middle of the field, over the head of everybody, incomplete.
Oh my goodness! If you're a fan of either team, Cincinnati of New York, your heart just dropped for a second. He had him open, Colin. It was a tough throw, but he had a step.
2nd and 10 from the 26 Chima. Will throw underneath. Trying to get out of bounds with a flag. Ingram the third was brought down by the face. Oh my goodness, this will tack on another 15 yards to it. And St. Louis, the cornerback, called for the infraction.
That's brutal for New York. I mean, from 3rd and, about 8 to 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line, that is brutal for the Lightning.
207, Chima gets the snap. Throws underneath. Green on the reception. 1st down and more in the New York territory as we've reached the 2-minute warning.
Oh my goodness.
We're watching the UFL here on the Virtual Football Network. Colin Northrop, Ramos Lynn. Want to remind you, coming up next, the Los Angeles Aztecs at the Salt Lake for the first of 2 Western Conference Final semi-battles. Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith at the call from Utah. It's next here on the Virtual Football Network. Meanwhile, we are witnessing an instant classic here, Ramos.
Yeah, absolutely. Regardless of how this game ends, this has been unbelievable.
Chima down the middle,
open.
catch made, wide open and rumbling down is Thomas. As Chima has completed 31 of 40, he's up to 309 passing.
And if I'm New York, I'm calling timeouts. Like Cincinnati, I don't know why they're going to no huddle. I don't want to score if I'm Cincinnati right now.
Chima sets a new high for completions, but that doesn't help matters as Black brings him down for the sack number 98. That's the 4th sack for New York on the evening. But New York isn't calling their timeouts, Ramos. I agree with it. And Chima underneath. Catching it is Ingram. The 3rd down to the 13-yard line.
Yeah, and Cincinnati is trying to score and I get out of bounds and no huddle. They're unsuccessful, and it's actually working to their benefit.
Here's Chima. Down he goes again. Sacked by Black, his 2nd of the drive.
I mean, if you're Cincinnati, this is a blessing in disguise, Colin, because a field goal wins this game. Like if I'm Cincinnati, I did not want to score on first down, right? You want to take the clock all the way down to like 5 seconds, and allow your kicker to get you out of here.
Agree. They
Last
had to
play of the
fire
game.
drill the field goal team on. 5 seconds for the win. Good. Cincinnati pulls it from nowhere. And they lead by 1 with 1 second left.
Hey, you know, it's kind of like that meme, Colin. You know, task fail successfully, right? Because
Right.
that clock management was awful, but it worked. Like, it was so bad, it actually worked to their benefit at the end. And Cincinnati just has to make a play here on special teams, and they will move on with an unbelievable comeback, a truly unbelievable comeback over the last few minutes of the game.
An unbelievable sequence there. The kickoff is away, and from the 10-yard line, no miracles are going to happen. Cincinnati advances.
Unbelievable. And if you're in New York, man, you know, hearts go out to you. Player of the game, Robert Brady Jr. You know, it could not have been anybody else, in my opinion, Colin. But if you're a New York man, a New York fan, I feel for you, because
You are going to be ruminating over this 16 fourth quarter points scored by Cincinnati, and they win the game by a single point.
Man, Colin,
The
this game was
statistics
won
tell
for
the
New York.
story. Cincinnati may have had all the advantages, but that does not tell the complete story. And I want to bring in Cameron Irvine here, because the lack of timeouts in that sequence called by New York, it's a mystery to me, and I'm sure a lot of people want an explanation.
Yeah, you can see that it was both teams operating in a moment of confusion, right? Cincinnati does not want to run no huddle in that situation, and New York wants to call timeouts in that situation, but neither team did that. My theory, as we've seen over a couple of times over the course of the season, is that because it was goal to go, the logic of calling timeouts as they are potentially going to win a game-winning field goal extends only a certain amount of yardage. But once they got into goal-to-go situation, a different set of logic kicked in, which essentially says you're so close to scoring a touchdown, just score a touchdown. And so I think that it's more about what was happening on Cincinnati's side of the logic than it was about New York's side of the logic, because Cincinnati's side of the logic is saying we're so close, go score a touchdown, because they were in a goal-to-go situation. So it's something that we'll look at over the offseason. But regardless, New York essentially has a chance to win the game if Cincinnati does not hit the field goal. But it was not to be, and credit to Cincinnati for making a totally unbelievable comeback. We saw two situations where everything worked perfectly. We saw a situation at the end of the game that was not ideal, but Cincinnati ended up executing more than New York. And the great thing about the UFL is that we can continue to make adjustments and make our game better. What a win for Cincinnati.
Yeah, Cam, and I also want to say this, and for you too, Colin. I mean, obviously New York is in a situation, in that kind of situation, but you cannot allow that to happen. I mean, you're winning by 15 points, just a few minutes left in the game, Colin. I mean, you cannot be in that situation in the first place, right? You have to put the game out of reach some way, somehow.
Yeah, there were other things during the game that could have prevented easily New York being in that situation. I agree with you wholeheartedly there on them. The Cincinnati Vultures, who started the season 6-0 and then proceeded to drop 6 in a row before rallying back to not only win the division, but win a playoff game, come back in the most unbelievable fashion in a game that looked like they were dead to light. But alas, the Cincinnati Vultures roller coaster season continues. For all of us here on the UFL and the Virtual Football Network, I'm Colin Northup. Thanks to my partner, Ramos Lynn, UFL co-founder, executive producer, and expert Cameron Irvine. Thank you all, and good night.